Steve, first few weeks in as head teacher at William Edwards, how's it going?
It's going very well, yeah, it's exciting times for the school. I'm thoroughly enjoying it, touch wood, everything is going as I expected to date. We've got an utterly committed staff, the team ethic here is incredibly strong, it has been for some time now, and I'm looking to just continue to foster that really strong ethic with the staff and focus on the most important thing, which is student achievement.
What has it been like, because you've been at the school for a few years now, what has it been like taking that step up?
Yeah, it's been interesting. A number of people, of course, would have commented to me before taking the substantive position recently after Easter that it would be different, and you'll find this and you'll find that. And of course, it's a different look because now it's down to me to set the direction and set the vision of where we're going. And that, if you like, is the most exciting bit. That's the thing I think always when taking up such an important position as this, that you generally find the challenge in. Where do you want to see the school in 2, 3, 4 years' time? What are the key developments that you want to see happening? And how is that going to impact, most importantly, on the young people that are coming through the door every day and their experience? And working with the staff and with the team of people right the way across from every member of staff, every adult that works in the school, to make sure we're all driving in the same direction.
I'm only going to ask this question once and we're going to move on from it for all the future, but what have you learned from John King?
Well, an awful lot, of course. It would be impossible, frankly, to have spent the time that I have working with him and not learnt an awful lot in terms of clarity of vision. I could spend hours, quite literally, talking to you about the things that I've learned in terms of detail, but I suppose the key things are about strength of leadership, being very secure and clear about what it is you want to achieve. But most importantly, and I think this is something that was often overlooked with John, the fundamental thing that he always focused on was what was most important for the students. In other words, schools being student-focused places. And I think if you continue to maintain that clarity, thinking about always with all decisions what's best for the young people, you can't go far wrong. And that's certainly the most important thing I learned from him.
Okay, so now the future. One of the key things of looking at the future of William Edwards is academy status. Where are you with this?
We're a fair way down the road with that. We've had an extensive 6 to 8 week consultation period now, where we've been speaking with parents, of course, with students, and importantly with staff, about the decision whether we should move to new academy status or not. That consultation has gone very well. It's been very positively received. We've had correspondence with our local colleagues in terms of the primary sector schools, and again some very productive conversations had there. The key question for me again with academy status, and certainly that the governors have spent time focusing on, is what is best for us at this point in time in the local context. I think that's very important in terms of moving William Edwards forward to the next step of its development. And we feel very clearly, governors and myself, and indeed most of the staff, that this is the right decision for us to take advantage of the freedoms that will provide, and ultimately therefore provide better outcomes for the students. And again, it always comes back to that key thing: what is best for the young people.
What are the freedoms it's going to provide?
Well, I think there are some exciting opportunities in terms of curriculum development. We always, as any good school, look to develop the curriculum on an annual basis, looking again at what is important in terms of local context. And it's of course a changing picture. So there are definitely some curricular developments that staff are quite excited about in the way they can do things differently. Although I think it's also true to say that the national curriculum provides more freedom than people often realise. But that's certainly something we're looking to develop. Obviously, to have the opportunity to look very carefully at how we use and get best value in terms of the money that we spend in delivering services for the youngsters, again, to make sure we give them the best possible provision in the school. So looking at targeted groups and where their needs may be and how we can provide an even better value for money, targeting that resource to give them the best possible chance.
We've had Michael Gove in Thurrock promoting academies. We've had Ed Balls in Thurrock questioning the Conservatives' projection of academies. And indeed, the portfolio holder for Children's Services in Thurrock, Diana Hale, described as academies as grammar schools by stealth. Is that harsh?
Well, I won't comment on whether it's harsh or not. I think my answer to it would be quite straightforward, and I think every school has to make a decision in terms of what's most appropriate in its own context. And I think it's very easy to look at an issue like this in a national context and frankly, that would, to me, would be inappropriate. But it's always, for me, about what's important for us here. In different authorities, in different locations around the country, people will have different views for different reasons. My view is very straightforward, and it's not a political one in any shape or form. It's very simply that I think in that new status we will be able to deliver a better service, a better provision, better outcomes, even better outcomes for the young people at William Edwards School, and it is as simple and as straightforward for that.
Sports continues to be the school's a beacon for that. Is that something you want to continue to nurture?
It certainly is. I mean, the one thing that I would say is that, of course, William Edwards, as a sports college, has a reputation for sport, and that's certainly something I want to continue and see prosper further. What I'm delighted about personally is that we're also seeing a real strength developing here in the arts and in all kinds of different areas. We had a Bugsy Malone performance before the Easter holiday, which was genuinely fantastic and of a professional standard, sold out for 3 nights with over 1,000 people attending. We have the Shakespeare Company. We have an awful lot of things happening that are high quality in the arts as well. So although, of course, the reputation of the school externally will be about sport, for me it's about that breadth of experience. I think what's most important in all schools is that every single child has a talent, has an opportunity to develop that talent if we can uncover it and provide them with those platforms to prosper. And so yes, sport is of course important, but every other area of the curriculum and of the extracurricular provision is also very important to me.
And staff, things like staff development, etc., that must be key as well.
Of course it is, yeah. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, I've been very, very fortunate in my career to have enormous opportunities to develop as a professional, and that's something that I find really fundamental to the way that you develop any school, investing in the people that come through and work with the youngsters, who ultimately are the people that have the greatest impact on the students' experience. And so developing those staff and investing in them in a number of different ways, but most importantly in terms of opportunities, is certainly a priority.
Naturally, you have 1 year, 5 year plans. So I guess one of the things is GCSE, 5A start Cs. What type of figure are you looking at? 100%?
Well, down the line, of course, there is no glass ceiling, and I do genuinely mean that. People often talk about, well, these students are capable of. I don't see it that way at all. The picture here for the last 3 years now has been an incremental increase every single year, and that's something that we're looking to continue this year. The current Year 11 are approaching the examinations with real gusto and with the right attitude. We've had the English exams this week, which has given us a very clear gauge of their approach, and that's been very, very positive indeed. So yeah, we certainly expect to see an increase again this year and continue that upward drive. Ultimately, of course, you want every single child to achieve, and the most important thing is about achieving against their potential, not necessarily achieving and comparatively against other students, because of course everyone starts from a different point, but provided every single student goes through the school and achieves their maximum, whatever that personal best may be, that's the most important thing. But without question, we want to see those figures continuing to rise, because that obviously increases those life opportunities for the youngsters.